everybody, it's Miss Lorenz. I'm going to talk about Unit 3, Lesson 2. This has to do with anchoring units of measurement. It really has to do with just kind of wrapping our head around what types of measurements fit best in what situations. So I'm not going to go through each one of these. I'm just going to ask you to pause the video right now and look through all of these and see how what you answered compares to what I answered. Now, in a lot of cases, there's more than one possible right answer. So just keep that in mind. There's not just one right answer, but if you are using, say, a volume measurement for something that is needing a length measurement, then it would be wrong and I would want you to correct that. But otherwise, just kind of gauge how you did based on what you see here. And let's go to the next one. This pet hamster is placed on a digital scale. So I got to tell you guys, I don't know much about little hamsters and how much they weigh. I've never held one. I'm guessing that this little hamster weighs a certain number of ounces or grams, but 1.5 grams would be too small. So I'm thinking maybe in this case ounces if it's just a little guy. All right, number 3, you had to circle the larger unit of measure and then determine if it's a unit that measures distance, volume, or weight. So I definitely want to talk about these really quickly. So first of all, a kilometer is bigger. A kilometer is 1,000 meters, so a kilometer is bigger and it measures distance. A yard is 3 feet, and so a yard is bigger than a foot, and it again measures distance. A quart is 4 cups, so a quart is definitely larger than a cup, and it measures volume. A pound is larger than an ounce. There's actually 16 ounces in a pound, and a pound measures weight. A liter is bigger than a milliliter. There are 1,000 milliliters in a liter, so a liter is definitely bigger, and it measures volume. And lastly, a kilogram is bigger than a gram. There are 1,000 grams in every kilogram, and that measures weight. All right, in this next one, we're talking about a juice mix, and I want you to see that I'm using a strategy that we learned in the last unit using a tape diagram. So Elena mixes 5 cups of apple juice with 2 cups of sparkling water. And you see how I created a tape diagram here to represent the 5 parts of apple juice and the 2 parts of sparkling water. And so if I look at how many total parts I have 7 total parts. And so if I want to make 35 cups, then I'm going to need to scale these 7 parts up by 5 to get to 35, because 7 times 5 is 35. And so if I scale it up by 5, then I know that's the value of each of these pieces. And 5 times 5 for the apple juice would be 25, and 5 times 2 for the sparkling water would be 10. And I can double check my work here because 25 plus 10 is 35, and that's what I'm going for. All right, the last one, we're looking at hat price, and we know that Lynn bought 3 hats for $22.50, and so our question talks about, at this rate, how many hats could she buy with $60? And so what it says here is if you get stuck, try using a table. You could use a double number line. Any strategy would really work here, as long as you're remembering that this is a multiplicative relationship. We're not doing any adding here. We're trying to figure out what do we multiply to get our 8 hats, or in this case, up to our $60. And so you'll see that in the table I wrote that 3 hats is $22.50. I went right to my unit price. So my 1 hat is $7.50. And then I tried to see, well, how many $7.50 are in 60? Here's how I thought through that mentally. So I know that 2 $7.50 is $15. And I know that if I had 4 15s, I would get to 60. And so since I'm taking 4 15s here and 2 here for my $7.50, then I'm going to need 4 times 2, or 8 hats to get up to the 60. And then I can double check my work, right? So 1 times 8 is 8, and I check it, and I know that 750 times 8 is 60. And so at that rate, I can buy 8 hats for $60. All right, I hope that was helpful. Thanks for listening.